Okay, spreadsheet is open, coffee in hand. Let's actually look at this. I'm pulling up the real numbers. What the average Canadian has invested at 40, then 50, then 60, then 70. No advisor talk, no textbook, just the Statistics Canada balance sheet for 2026. I have a feeling some of these numbers are going to make me laugh, possibly cry, possibly both. Nathan here. Look, most Canadians are walking around at 70, dressed in the same money outfit they wore at 40, and that is a problem. Your portfolio at 40 is supposed to look very different from your portfolio at 70. By the end of this video, you'll see what each decade actually looks like, what's in it, what should be in it, and whether yours is built for the right one. Okay, before I open the file, quick thing. When I say investment portfolio, what I mean is the money you actually have in the markets. So that's your RRSP, your TFSA, your LIRA if you ever had a workplace pension and rolled it into one of these. And any non-registered brokerage account, which is just a regular account where you can buy stocks, but the government taxes you on it. That's the portfolio. I am not counting the cash in your checking account. I am not counting GICs at the bank. Those are basically a piggy bank with a lock on it. And I am especially not counting your house because your house is not an investment. It's a place you sleep and complain about the heating bill. Okay? Pulling up the file, scrolling, right? Age 41st. So, 40-year-old Canadian. Okay. Average RRSP for the 35 to 44 group is around $82,100. Average TFSA is around $19,000. Add those up. Roughly $100,000 in markets. That sounds okay, actually. Not amazing, but okay. Wait, let me look at the median, because the average has a problem. The median RRSP for that age band is about $30,000. The median TFSA is about $9,000. So the typical 40-year-old, not the average, the typical, has about $40,000 invested. That is a very different number. FYI, the gap between 100K and 40K is the size of a used car. A nice one. Quick thing on average versus median. Average means total divided by people. Median means the actual middle person. And in Canada, those two numbers are nowhere near each other because a small group of wealthy Canadians drag the average way up. That is all you need to know. Median is the more honest number. Moving on. Stocks, bonds. What are these actually? Quick definitions because not everyone watching this is a finance person. A stock is a tiny piece of a company. You buy one share of Loblaws, you own a microscopic slice of Loblaws, and if Loblaws does well, your slice goes up. A bond is when you lend money to a government or a big company and they pay you back with a little extra. Bonds are boring. That is the whole point. They are supposed to be boring. Okay, so what is the 40-year-old portfolio made of? Mostly stocks. Like 80 to 100% stocks. The most popular ETF in this age band is something called XEQT or VEQT, which is 100% stocks from all over the world in one fund. Or XGRO, which is 80% stocks and 20% bonds. Why so aggressive? Because at 40, you've got maybe 25 years until retirement. The market can crash. It can crash again. You've got time. The bonds at this age are basically there to make you feel better when stocks drop. Emotional support bonds. If you're 40 and you're already at 60-40, stocks to bonds, you are being too cautious. You're probably costing yourself something like $300,000 of growth between now and 65. That is, a lot of growth to leave on the table. That's a Honda Civic every year for 30 years. Okay, age 50. Moving down the spreadsheet, right. 45 to 54 group, average RRSP is now around $150,000. Median RRSP is $70,000. Average TF is around $22,000. So the average 50-year-old has about $170,000 invested. The typical 50-year-old has more like $90,000. Half of 50-year-olds in this country have less than $90,000 invested for retirement. They have 15 years left. That is a problem. The 50s are supposed to be peak savings years. The kids are leaving the house, hopefully. The mortgage is getting smaller, hopefully. Income is at its highest, hopefully. This is the decade where you load up the truck. But for a lot of Canadians, the 50s are also when life sends them a surprise. New roof, aging parents, adult child moving back home with a sourdough hobby. Stuff happens. The portfolio mix at 50 usually shifts to about 70% stocks, 30% bonds. Some are still at 80-20. Some have gone full grandma and are at 60-40. Why does the mix shift? Because if the market crashes 40% when you're 50, you've got 15 years to recover. If you're 60, you've got 5 years. That's the difference. Time horizon is everything. Okay, age 60. Here we go. Wait, let me read that again. Average for the 55 to 64 group, when you include RIFs and LIRAs, is around $220,000. Median, $100,000. Average TFSA is $39,000. So the average 60-year-old Canadian has about $260,000 invested. The median is sitting on more like $140,000. Okay, so here's the funny part, or the cry part. The BMO 2026 annual retirement study just came out, and Canadians said they believe they need $1.7 million to retire comfortably. The median 60-year-old has $140,000. The math here is rough. We say we need $1.7 million. We have $140,000. That is a $1.56 million gap per person. Now, to be fair, not everyone needs $1.7 million. That is what people guess they need, not what they actually need. And about 4 in 10 Canadian workers have a DB pension, which I'll get to in a second. And that changes things a lot. The portfolio mix at 60 should be moving fast. The standard recommendation is 50-50, stocks to bonds, or 60-40 if you're a little braver. Why? Because of something called sequence of returns risk, which sounds scary, but it just means this. If you retire and the market drops 35% in your first 2 years and you're holding 80% stocks, you are selling those stocks at the worst possible time to pay for groceries. The bonds at this age are basically a 2 to 3 year buffer of stuff you can spend so that you don't have to sell stocks at the bottom. Okay, age 70. Last one. Let me see. By the way, at age 71, the government taps you on the shoulder and politely demands you turn your RRSP into a RRIF. That is not optional. You have to start pulling money out every year based on your age, and they tax you on it. The government has been waiting decades for this. They are not waiting any longer. Median Canadian age 65 plus has roughly $100,000 in registered savings. Average is closer to $224,000. So at 70, you've basically retired with about the same money you had at 60 because you've been spending some of it. Look at this. Some 70-year-olds are still holding 60 to 80% in stocks. Someone's brave. Or they have a giant DB pension and don't care. Or, more likely, they opened that account in 2008, picked XGRO, and have not opened a statement since. They are 70. They are 80% in stocks. They do not know they are 80% in stocks. What should the 70-year-old portfolio actually look like? About 40% stocks, 60% bonds, possibly 30-70, if you're conservative. The stocks at this age are mostly dividend payers. Boring stuff. Banks, telecoms, utilities. The kind of companies that send you a check every 3 months, whether the market is doing well or not. The bonds are usually a mix of government bonds and corporate bonds through an ETF like ZAJ or XBB, and then a chunk in GICs or a high-interest savings account for the next 1 to 2 years of spending, so that money is not bouncing around in the market when you need it for groceries. Okay, quick rule to know about, the 100 minus your age rule. The old textbook rule. Take 100, subtract your age, that's your stock allocation. So at 40, you'd be 60% stocks. At 70, you'd be 30% stocks. That rule was written back when people died at 72. It's bad advice now. People live until 85, 90, longer. A 70-year-old with only 30% stocks doesn't grow their money fast enough to keep up with inflation for another 20 years. So the modern Canadian version is 110 minus your age, or even 120 minus your age, if you're feeling spicy. At 110 minus age, a 40-year-old is at 70% stocks, a 60-year-old is at 50%, a 70-year-old is at 40%. That feels right for current life expectancy and current bond yields, especially with the Bank of Canada policy rate sitting at 2.25% in 2026. Bonds are not paying what they used to. Stocks have to do more lifting. Now, DB pensions, the cheat code. If you have a defined benefit pension, the math is completely different. A pension that pays you $40,000 a year for life, indexed to inflation, is basically the same as having $1 million in bonds already. So, if you already have that big invisible bond portfolio outside your RRSP, why would you also load up your RRSP with bonds? You wouldn't. Pension holders can run their RRSP much heavier in stocks because the pension is the safety net. A retired teacher with a DB pension running 80% stocks in her RRSP is not being crazy. She's being smart. The pension is doing the bond job for her. If you do not have a pension, the math is reversed. You are your own pension. Your accounts are doing everything. That is why no pension. Canadians usually need a more conservative mix in their 60s and 70s. There is no parachute. Okay, so the practical takeaway, the action part, pull up your accounts on your phone. Right now, if you're not driving, add the values across RRSP, TFSA, LIRA, and non-registered. That total is your portfolio number compared to the medians, not the averages. About $40,000 at 40, about $90,000 at 50, about $140,000 at 60, about $100,000 at 70. If you're below those, you're behind the typical Canadian, but you've got time to fix it. If you're above, congrats, you are ahead of half the country, and you are allowed to feel slightly smug. Then look at the mix. What percentage is in stocks? What percentage is in bonds? Compared to your decade, if you're 65 and 90% in stocks with no pension, you're carrying too much risk. If you're 35 and sitting in 70% bonds because the market scared you in 2022, you're being too cautious and losing about 5% of growth a year for no good reason. The portfolio that grows you in your 40s is not the portfolio that protects you in your 70s. That is the whole point of this video. The mix has to change. Set a reminder once a year. Look at the allocation. If anything has drifted more than 5 percentage points off your target, rebalance it. And every decade, sit down for an hour and ask whether your portfolio still matches your actual life, not the life you had 10 years ago. That is it. The data is the data. It does not lie. Your portfolio's age should match yours. Nathan out.